Hello everyone, Deb Floros for Jesse James Beads. Let's make a necklace with some beautiful pieces from the Starlight Witch Collection at Jesse James Beads. Well, these are pretty spectacular and I love the shape of them. They have amazing facets, amazing color, and the spacers are actually useful. And the juxtaposition between those and these black beads are amazing. I also think I'm going to use some of these at the end of my necklace. They're almost rice shaped. And I'm going to see what little baubles I can pull from this mix. Oh my gosh, look. And we're going to use some cup chain. This rhinestone cup chain is amazing. I'm going to use 19 strand beading wire from Beadalon. And I'm going to string on some beads. So in this picture, I started with some beads from the mix, but I'm going to change those up when I get further into the necklace. So I'm using the first strand of beads, those beautiful multi-colored rondelle shapes, and I'm going to grab the little spacers and use them as spacers. And I'm just making a pattern of those rondelles and the black beads. And I just think they look super witchy, super on trend for this collection. So I'm just stringing on, doing simple stringing, making this beautiful. Oh my gosh, I love the matte and the sparkle together. It's just going to be a really fun necklace. I'm going to go about 18 inches for this necklace, and we're going to make a focal with that rhinestone cup chain. Now, I'm deciding how I'm going to make little dangles with these, and what I'm going to do is cut sections of it, fold it over, wire wrap it into like a back-to-back chain, and then I'm going to string it onto the necklace. So you can decide your lengths and pre-make them along the way, or pre-make them or make them along the way, which is what I did. And one thing you want to do with cup chain is you'll want to snip off the ends of the piece. So when you shake out your sections, you'll have these little tabs that stick out. So you'll want to snip those off when you're going to use them in your design. I don't need those little ends now that I've cut them. So I'm going to take my piece and I want it to be an even number. Here I've got uneven, so I ended up cutting off one little rhinestone. And I'm going to use 24 gauge wire. I've got about 8 inches or so. I'm not going to use all of it, but I like having that much because it gives me some leverage to work with. Now I'm going and folding that cup chain in half, and then I'm taking the 24 gauge wire and I'm wrapping it around the space between the second and third rhinestone on the chain. And I'm just tightening it up, getting it wrapped around maybe 2 or 3 times. And I am taking the wire around in different directions to get it nice and tight and secure. So part of the challenge of making this piece, well, probably the only challenge, is actually doing the fiddling with that rhinestone chain. So getting it to go back and back, back to back, and then holding it so that you can get the wire wrapped around. But I found it easier as I did the second and third. We're going to do 5 of them in the focal section of this necklace. So I'm just wrapping around, snipping off the excess, and then I'm using some chain nose pliers to tighten up the wire that's going around that cup chain. So just getting it nice and tight, tucking in the ends of the wire. So see, this is shaping up nicely. I really like the way that you can see the rhinestones and the gold tone of that cup chain. So cool. So tucking in my ends here, and you can see it's just giving you just enough of a space to slide that onto your beading wire. So very, very easy, and you've got consistent lengths here. I did the same length for each one of my dangles. You could switch it up if you'd like. You could make them longer. You get a nice, generous portion of this rhinestone chain. Then I'm just going to continue on my merry way with my pattern. So using those little spacer beads, using my rondelles, and using those black beads, they are super cool. This is going to be the perfect necklace for the witchy time of year. Oh my gosh, I just love it. So I'm finishing up, and I decided not to use those beads from the mix, but I'm going to use the rice-shaped beads at the end. So I'm putting them on one side, then removing them from the other and adding them to the other. I'm using some bead stoppers. I'm using a size 2 crimp tube, and I'm using some French wire to finish off my necklace end and create a loop. So I'm just passing the wire back through the crimp tube and through a couple of beads and then crimping. So I've got a nice gold tone loop at the end of my necklace. And then I'm adding a lobster to the other side. Oh my gosh, I love how this came out. And I decided I needed a little something at the back. So I wire wrapped one of the stars from the bead mix. And now I've got this fun finished piece, perfect Starlight Witch necklace. So very cool. And you can make matching earrings too by grabbing some beads from that mix. I did. They're very cute. Love them so much. You can find all of these fun beads and pieces and parts at jessiejamesbeads.com. Check out the Starlight Witch Collection. You are going to love it. Thanks so much for watching.